Hi guys, this is Sid Cool with my bad English and the worst video quality on YouTube ever, and today I'm here to talk you about Deckem. Deckem is a card game available on Steam for some cheap amount of euro dollars, very close to the number 3. What is Deckem? What is a deck? What is a card game? What is a card? These are all questions I'll try to answer in my honest review. Deckem is a solitaire card game, which means that you'll play solo all alone in your room. Solitaire card games are a way elite used to promote nihilism and self-toxicity into mass of people, and I'll explain you why. First, a solitaire is a game you play solo. You can invite a friend at your home, but he won't be able to play with you. All your friends can do is staring at you while you play a solitaire card game on your PC. That's kinda stupid and quite boring, at least for one of you. So solitaire games do not support human relationships. Instead, if they get a chance, they'll try to disrupt them. And what about the mechanics? The structure of a solitaire card game is rarely complex, and speaking about Deckem, it is particularly easy. The main task in a solitaire game is to choose and use and position one of your cards on the field. You cannot use any card and position it in any spot. Instead, you gotta respect some rules. Rules in card games, especially in solitaire games, work by limiting your options, your decisional space, and thus guiding lightly or heavily your playstyle. More rules, less options. No rules, complete freedom. In solitaire games, the amount of options you get every turn is very limited. While it is true that you can play different cards in different spots, no option is equal to another, and a player is always focused in achieving the maximum results of every card. This furtherly limits your range of options, because after doing your calculations of what kind of results you can get of every option, you'll often end up realizing that there's one option better than the others, and that's the one you'll go for. So for most of the turns, you'll discover that you'll have just one option to go for, and when there's just one option, we can't really talk about a choice, right?
Did you know gaming?
Back in the 90s, this guy used to buy bugs for real rupees. Then elites decided slaves like you have to eat insects. Bugs rose in price and now this guy owns a bank. Quit eating bugs and subscribe to the channel.
The more you play at Deckem, the quicker you'll become at calculating which card will net you the better results, and since the game structure isn't complex at all, you'll soon start playing your cards almost without thinking, in a mechanical way. Decisional processing and mechanical processing of information involve different areas of your brain. Without going into the specifics, let's just say that the decisional process activates your frontal and top areas, which are the latest areas formed and probably the most characteristic in human brain, while mechanical process rely on bottom rear areas, which are the most ancient areas and are connected to nerves and guide reflexes working similarly to the brain of a reptile. So, solitaire games, after a few matches, will become what I call no-brain games. We can thus conclude that the more you play at Deckem, the less you'll think and choose. What is the goal of a solitaire game? As for any game, winning is the goal. But let's dive into this and check the underlyings. You can win or lose a solitaire game, but since there's no opponent, you can't beat or be beaten by anyone. Who's your opponent in a solitaire game? A naive way of thinking might lead us to the childish answer that you are your opponent. But that's just wrong, and it instead applies to games for 2 or more where you actually pick both sides and play alone, which is a completely different situation. It's not easy to find who's the opponent in a solitaire card game. Before the game starts, every card combination is possible, and so every win or lose combination as well. It's a Schrödinger cat box that doesn't bring many considerations, but when cards are set, the options are very limited. There are solitaire games that you cannot win no matter what, due to bad luck or RNG in video games. Then again, there are games that you will always win, as long as you will follow the strategy to determine and go for the option netting you the best results. And as we learned, this is much more a mechanical than a decisional process. None of these two situations, games that you cannot win and games that you will win, can be properly considered a challenge, because they have just one possible outcome. So, once you master all the mechanics of the game, which aren't many, your true opponent that you'll have to beat in a solitaire game is luck, or random number generation in video games. Since luck can decide for your victory or loss before you actually take part in the game.
Subscribe to Sid Cool right now, and you can win a PlayStation 5. It is 100% authentic.
Deckem also provides you with 3 different leaderboards. While those leaderboards apparently calculate different scores, like the guy who got most wins and the guy who won most money in a game, the way to achieve the top position of the leaderboards is always the same: play more and better than the other players in the world. Since we proved that playing is a mechanical process, you can't really outplay or play better than the others. So in conclusion, achieving the top scores in a leaderboard will always be a matter of playing more than your opponents. Thus, leaderboards will show the players who have spent most time playing Deckem, a solitaire game where your main opponent is RNG. Can we really consider reaching the top of Deckem leaderboard a success? Would you really feel like a winner knowing you played a dumb solitaire in the game more than anyone else in the world? Well, I reached the top 10 and I didn't. I felt like a complete loser, and the leaderboards proved I wasted more time than many others into this game. Leaderboards winners look to me like complete losers. The more you win in Deckem, the less your time and probably life is worth. You can grab your copy of Deckem on Steam for a few $, and feel free to show through leaderboards how much of a loser you are. If you can net more wins than me, please comment below, cause I really need to meet someone that values his time less than I do. Here was Sid Cool with another fresh, honest review. Subscribe to this mad channel, cause you never know what kind of weird video game content I'm going to upload. Bye bye!